Chad Kassem from Acoustic Sounds. Amos Vega and Chad Stelly is here with me. We're going to do some A-Bing. This is how we A-B records when we reissue them to make sure that the new one's better than the original, and try to learn more about it, try to get it as good as possible to get it to sound the best it possibly can. Just talk the system a little bit. These are ATC speakers that we got from Doug Sachs when we bought Doug Sachs mastering facility. These are powered speakers, very accurate. I mean, they tell you exactly what's on, what you're listening to, whether you like it or not.
It's a microscope.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Microscope, and they're very accurate, and they sound great, especially when the music sounds great. Then the other thing I have, and I'll have them zoom in on this later, is a Chris Muth console, and this came from a mastering facility console. Chris Muth designed, he was the chief technical engineer at Sterling. He designed most of their consoles at the Sterling Mastering. And he doesn't make them anymore. We were very, very lucky to get it. So what this is we're going to be able to A-B the master, the original album against the new cut by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. And with this mastering console, I'm able to flip between these two albums at the same time, back and forth, back and forth. We've already, used the sound pressure gauge. We've already kind of messed with that to make sure that they're close to being the same volume, because when you A-B in it, it's got to be the same volume or it's really hard. And I mean, it's amazing how long we, in the old days, we would do it with one turntable, right, and taking it off and trying to remember the volume and remember what you heard 5 minutes ago. And when we did that back then, when you really killed the original, you can A-B like that. It's when you get real close, then
this helps a lot.
Oh yes,
yeah.
This is a tool. It tells you, it saves you a lot of time, but when it's close, you really need this. So Stelly set up these turntables for me. They're the Technics SL 1200Gs, the ones that were made in Japan. And what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to the Blues and the Abstract Truth. Here's the original. And I got the test pressing that was mastered by Ryan. So we're just going to show you kind of what we do and see what differences we hear. And then we'll just talk like we normally do, like what you hear, what I hear, if we're hearing the same things. And I'm going to put the A will be the test pressing, and the B will be the original. these are pretty close.
They are. They are. There's subtle differences between them.
To me, the new one sounds smoother. Sounds more like a new record, but smooth. The original sounds more like an old record.
It's a little more aggressive in some areas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely aggressive on the bass. It's a little overblown, whereas the new one's got a smoothness in that area.
I think most of the time though, we beat it by more. Having this system helps us hear it right away.
And give more positive feedback to Ryan if he's going to do a recut.
Right. So I don't think we need to touch this.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we. But I mean, if you have the original of this one, you got a damn good record. There's a reason why we wanted to do this record to begin with, because you could hear how good the music and how good it sounds. So the original is really good, but I mean, they're going to be hard to find almost a 60-year-old record.
Yeah.
In good shape, and it's going to go for a lot of money.
Another gift to analog.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I normally, a lot of times, we beat it by more. This one was close, but it was still easy enough to recognize the new one's better.
Yeah. If you're in the wheelhouse, I mean, it's definitely there.
Yeah, and
in
then
my opinion.
This was a pretty good job. It was probably, I think most of these were cut by Rudy Van Gelder. Yeah, RVG stereo. Yeah, the new system, the new tape deck is better. The QRP plating and pressing is better.
The vinyl compound.
Final formulation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm so glad I got this system because it makes things easier. Rarely do I have to ask Kevin Gray or Bernie or Ryan to recut something. They usually, since I sent them the original, they get to compare and they're able to do a better job with the equipment they have. And every now and then, maybe 1 out of 50, will I ask them to recut. Maybe sometimes it's a bit too bright. And, the guys, we all like I said, the warm, rich, and smooth.
Right.
And, but not, some of the DCCs were a little bit too warm, rich, and smooth. But I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean,
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this one's smoother, just sounds better. I mean, you could guess if you didn't know which one was like the newer one versus the old, like.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times I prefer Chad to do the switching, and I like to get lost. I don't like to know what table's playing, what version's playing, but it's a process of listening analytically, and also at the same time, it's how does it make you feel, So it's a trick. And when I first started in audio, I didn't realize the how does it make you feel even existed. Everything was super critical listening, and you don't have to hurt yourself.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, because when I would go to master at Doug Sachs in 1992, that's exactly what he would say. He didn't say, how does it sound? He says, how does it feel?
Yep.
And there's a big difference.
There is.
But that also, the A being 1-to-1 quickly doesn't really give you enough, like you really need to listen and see how fatiguing it is.
And I think using the comparator is more for that fast, analytical, okay, black and white, what's the differences?
But if it was fatiguing,
you'd still know it.
Right, you'd know it, but if it's fatiguing, then even if the fatiguing one might sound better, it's more impressive, you better be able to live with it.
Right. And long term, not something that just,
So anyway, hopefully that's interesting to people. This is what we do, man. We're trying to make these records the best they can be. We have a chance with the classic records like, Kind of Blue or Blues in the Abstract Truth. we have a chance to make it sound better than ever. We don't want to mess that chance up. And like I've said before so many times, is that what's cooler than you hearing your favorite record sound better than it's ever, you've listened to it 100 times, and you hear it sounding better than it's ever sounded. Like you hear parts you didn't hear, you know, you hear like maybe words you didn't hear. What's better than that?
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been fun. Stelly set up these tables, and this Chris Muth designed this system, and Barry Wolfson was advised me on buying this. He's like, dude, you cannot let this thing go. It's a one of a kind, and
It does make your life easier.
yeah, it was well worth the investment, and it's fun.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Hey, somebody's got to listen to records all day and at night too.
Right.
And I'll be that guy. You know, like if you do what you love for a living, you'll never work another day in your life.
Right. And I'll keep dropping in.
Yeah. Thank y'all very much. If y'all want to know about the latest releases, subscribe to Acoustic Sounds email newsletter. That's once a week, and at Acoustic Sounds. Thanks for supporting vinyl. Peace.